Welcome to the SpaHive Podcast. We're your hosts, Julie Pankey
and MaryAnn, spa leaders, business strategists, and business besties who are pulling back the curtain on what it actually takes to grow a business and a life you don't secretly want to escape from.
This is where leadership meets honesty, where revenue meets relationships, and where we talk about the things no one puts on Instagram.
So, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, or a high achiever who's building something meaningful, but also navigating team dynamics, burnout, boundaries, and big goals, you're in the right place.
No highlight reels, no sugarcoating, just real conversations, practical strategy, and a little laughter along the way. Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to the SpaHive Business Bestie Podcast. I'm Julie Pankey with my business bestie, MaryAnn. Good morning, MaryAnn.
Good morning, Julie Pankey. Good morning to our listeners. Julie, how are you doing?
Me, I'm great. So we were talking pre-call about this Reddit obsession that you have. So I wanted to talk more about it. So, I, like most people in the world, will Google things on the internet. And, when you Google something, of course, a Reddit board pops up on pretty much any topic that you Google. I usually don't choose that to look at unless I'm looking for maybe a recommendation for something. Like the best restaurant in Baltimore or whatever. But I don't have an account or a subscription. So I think I can only go so much into it. I don't know because I really don't do it. But what I'm wondering is when you're scrolling Reddit, are you putting in questions that you want answers to, or are you just randomly scrolling random topics?
So typically if I am scrolling Reddit, usually I do it at night. It is like I'm part of, I guess, what they call communities or sub-communities that are different topics. And so those will populate my feed with some other things, right, that I'm not necessarily a member of or really care about. And usually the topics that I'm part of the community for or the sub-community are like influencer snarks, because those make me laugh, or like shows that I watch, like communities about those shows, because then we're just talking about, the show or the episode. So I watch a lot of TLC or Bravo. And so there'll be threads about that. Now, if I'm not necessarily asking Reddit a question, but I will say if I put a question in Google and the Reddits come up, then sometimes I will go to it. You're right. If I'm looking for a recommendation or has someone been in the same situation, usually it has to do with parenting or something like that. And so sometimes I will go to that, but mainly it's just for entertainment, not actually for knowledge.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm interested. Do our viewers scroll Reddit? Now, that's not something I scroll, but last night I did for a half hour scroll reels on my Instagram because my algorithm, as you know, is a lot of food related things, recipes and hacks, 1,000 ways to eat cottage cheese. All the stuff, right? You can bake with it and, make a hamburger out of it. I don't know what, but, I get these reels. Plus, I like to see some of the funny reels. So that's what I do. That's what I did
It's
last
so
night.
funny you talking about your feed, because I have one of my friends, sometimes we'll text each other random reels back and forth, and usually they're pretty funny or lighthearted. But then the other day I found this reel that literally had me in tears as I was watching it. And so I texted her that, and then she was like, Yeah, you think that's sad? Here's one that really gets me. And so then I watched hers, and then the next thing I know, my algorithm is just filled with sad reels. So then I
No.
needed, like, a palate cleanser after that.
Right.
But it is funny because sometimes I'll open up my feed and I'm literally like, who do they think I am? Like the other day, it was like, what was it? It was like some ultra, after I got done with my sad reels, then it started to give me content that was like ultra conservative and like almost trad wifey. And I'm like, who, what is going on? I was like, they've got the wrong person. So it made me laugh because sometimes I am like, what have I given my phone that makes it think I am this person? And then you're like, wait, am I this person? So
That's kind of funny.
yeah, it was a little crazy. And I almost texted you being like, why is this showing up on my feed? Because it is something that like completely is not in my realm at all. And I was like, what is this?
That's so funny. Yeah, I also feel like on my computer, like Instagram Reels show up different than my phone one. So, because I use my Instagram on my computer, I think far less.
Yeah, of
So
course.
it's a little bit more like generic or like worky content.
Yes.
And on my phone, it's like how to style your plus size body in like 5,000 outfits.
Mine's always like, here's your Walmart haul. And I'm like, okay.
Well, you do have the Walmart outfit style, the ones that do.
Yeah.
I bought all this stuff at Walmart. Look how cute it is. And I'm like, my Walmart doesn't sell that stuff.
And I'm always like, that's not, I feel like with the Walmart ones, I was like, I'm not trying to knock Walmart clothing because when it goes on the influencers, it looks great. So I don't know what they're doing or what type of lighting they're using. But I'm always like,
True.
that is not what ends up getting shipped to me. I'm like, that is not correct.
No, it's like your Amazon haul when you were going on vacation. It looks good on the influencers, and I do that all the time. I see a few influencers, and it goes to their shop, Amazon shopping, and then I look at it, and then I see like the pictures and the reviews, and then pictures on other people, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Amazon, if you want to send me free clothes to try
Yeah, of course. We'll take
on
them.
my Instagram, like I'll totally do it, but a lot of times those are like what I would call like disposable outfits, right? You buy it, you wear it to like one event, and you probably wouldn't wear it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have yet to find like my like absolute favorite thing from like my Amazon haul. Yeah, I found some cool sweatshirts or I got a pair of shorts recently, but those kinds of things, like I rebuy that kind of stuff every season because it
Yes.
doesn't like last through the seasons. Um, so I'm like, well, I'll spend like $200 on like my summer t-shirts and shorts because, and I can get them at Shein or Amazon or Venus. um, and then know that it mostly lasts for the season and I don't feel bad if it doesn't last longer.
Right.
Anyway,
I will
so
tell
we
you, I
spent,
got this. I will tell you, I got this one sweatshirt, and I literally wore it yesterday too, and I got a compliment on it. But I have worn it for probably since Christian was 2, maybe even younger than that. So, 3, 4 years. And I got it from Shein. And
yeah.
it's literally the softest thing, but it's the only thing that I've ever gotten from them that I have liked. And I've gotten other things too. So I think it might have been a fluke
Yeah.
type of deal because this sweatshirt has lasted and it feels like it is gonna last. I hope it does because it's my favorite sweatshirt. But yeah,
And
that's one of
it
those
doesn't
like,
like fade or whatever.
no, I mean, it's gray, so it
Yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah,
has
yeah.
faded.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did get on my Temu haul that one time I bought from Temu. I got a gray, Christian would actually like it, skeleton sweatshirt with like
Yeah,
slashes throughout it, so it's like ripped.
cute.
And I got it for Halloween. And I think I got it like 3 years ago, and I can wear it every Halloween season. It's still fine.
See, sometimes you'll get some stuff, but you gotta kind of go
And it
through
was
it.
like $5.99.
Yeah.
So that leads us into we said what we said, right? Those things that you think we're going to make this a funny, like a more fun episode. Some of the things that you think, but you don't necessarily say out loud because you're not sure how they'll land. Yeah, we're
I
going to
like that.
we're going to say them today. We're going to talk about them a little bit. We're not complaining. Just take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't, and don't hate us in the
Yeah, I mean, free.
so I mean, I don't want this is not a negative episode at all. It's just some of the things that we've learned through life, through the hard way, some of the things that we're still working on, no judgment. Like if it works if you love your Shein clothes and they last you the test of time,
Oh
you
yeah,
go girl. You go girl.
yeah.
Um
You've got a better picker for the Sheen clothes. So, I mean, you're laughing all the way to the bank. So good for you.
All right. Well, so let's see. Category one that we were going to talk about is business related. Agree, disagree, or depends, I think we were going to say.
All right. So
You could
you're
tell
gonna
we're
tell me
super
it?
prepared. Why
No,
not?
no, no, no. You're gonna tell me it, and then I'm gonna agree, disagree, or it depends.
Okay.
All right. I like this name.
Not everyone should own a business.
Agree. And
Totally agree.
even if you are like skilled in whatever that skill set is, like let's say you're the best electrician around. You're the best electrician around. Maybe that doesn't always mean that you should go out on your own and own your own electrician business.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, like if you're the best esthetician around, right? Maybe that doesn't mean that you're necessarily a great business owner.
Right, right. And so many times I hear, even at the schools when I go in there for meetings, right, the instructors are like, oh, yeah, they all want to open their own business, right? And they're going to make $100,000 the first
Yeah.
year. And we're all like, and I know that sounds like an evil laugh, but, through experience, just age and wisdom of life, and experience, 30 plus years in the spa and wellness industry, ask yourself why Julie Pankey never opened a spa. Interesting, right? A lot of my clients have been like, why don't you open a spa? How come you haven't opened a spa? Donnie, man, she's always trying to get me to open a spa with her. And I'm like, nope, not on your life. Like, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I choose to do. And a lot of times, like in school, they think like that's the definition of success. And I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you, I have a part-time massage therapist that talked to me yesterday, and they escorted me out to another meeting I was having, wanted to walk and talk with me. And this person says, I did my tax return. This is my first year working here. And I made 80K and I work part-time.
Holy
And
moly.
I am feeling really good about life. And I wanted to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Now, these are people that on their own, I'm sorry, you got to build up
Yep.
strong and steady. You've got to be in your wheelhouse to have your own business as a massage therapist and, bank that amount of money.
Yeah.
Bank, this person said to me, and guess what? I even have 35,000 of it in a bank account. I didn't even
Wow.
spend it all,
Wow. Well,
right?
it's a she or he? Who is it? She or
I
he?
didn't say.
Fine. Well, fine. Well, they are just winning at life. Holy smokes.
Right? So, I mean, put it all into perspective, right? Not everyone should own a business. And it's okay if you choose to not own a business. You could be very, very successful in whatever you do as the expert in your field. And that's at the end of the day what matters. How about busy equals profitable? So that kind of segues into our topic, but busy equals profitable.
Disagree.
Totally disagree. Busy does not equal profitable.
I saw the other day, and I thought it was a really good quote, I guess you could say, or good idea, was that not necessarily is it the quantity of guests or clients that you have, whatever your business is, but it's the quality of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really key because you're right. Like sometimes you're like, all right, let's say you did decide to own your own business or you're just building
Yeah.
your own book or whatever place you work at. And you're like, oh, I need to get busier. Maybe sometimes you don't actually need to get busier. You just need clients that are going to spend more money. So,
Well, and that's why a lot of times we research, our top 20 spending clients because when you look at your top 20 spenders, the lowest hanging fruit is to get them to spend more.
yeah, absolutely. Like, when some of those, what do we call them, whales come in?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't think busy necessarily means profitable.
No, definitely not. And I think, put it into perspective. Like, if you're, let's just say, a massage therapist and you're building your business and that's all you want to do, if you are a business owner and you're charging $100 for a massage, right? And you can get in 30 clients a week, right? Then in 52 weeks, that's $156,000. Obviously, it's not all profit, but you can easily
Yeah.
clear 100,000. So for those people that want to be business owners, right, it's looking at it in a way that's analytical of saying, oh, this is what I have to do to get what I want, and just stay, with your blinders on, head down, and do what you want to do. Like if 30 hours is what you want to work a week and that's what you're, willing to commit to, then that's the amount of clients and you have to charge enough and be good at your spending so that you can make the profit that you want. If So I'm going to change this question a little bit. My business shouldn't be able to run without me. Like I am the center of the world of my business.
Disagree. Yes. Disagree. Well,
Why?
then you're not, well, because you're not scalable at that.
I mean, I'm doing 30 massages a week.
Well,
My business can't run without me. Those dogs aren't going to walk themselves.
yeah, I guess I'll switch it to it depends, right? Because it depends on what type of business you are. If you're just a solo person, well, then obviously your business needs to run. You need to be there in your business. The other thing is, if your business is your namesake as well, Julie Pinky,
Right.
um,
Big
then,
mistake.
yeah, people ask me like, oh, like what, you work so long, what's something that you would tell businesses? I said, don't name it after yourself because you do get stuck in a thing
Right.
where people expect just you then. And so at some point you aren't as scalable as you want to be, no matter how good your team is. Sometimes it's always they just want that one person. So I guess it depends. I mean,
Yeah.
if you own, let's say, a market or a grocery store, then your business should be able to run without you. Most likely you have employees. But yeah, if you own, MaryAnn's dog walking, the dogs aren't probably getting walked unless MaryAnn is there walking them.
Right, right, right. Yes. Yeah, and I mean, if I was to do it all over again, would I brand my business differently than my name? Probably not, which is why we created the SpaHive.
You're like, MaryAnn, your opinion is not correct.
Well,
I've been
no,
in business longer than you, MaryAnn.
no, because I feel like I'm an expert in what I do.
Yeah.
So it's branded, like my name is branded as an expert, right? So I could have Jay and Pinky Partners Bakery, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I am the only person working at the bakery,
Yeah, that's true. That is
you
true. I
know?
guess it's an all
So I think the
depends, right?
nature of what I do, maybe so, and way back when, that's why we created the SpaHive, was to kind of get away from my name a little bit, which, was a blessing and a curse. All right, so here's another thing. I said what I said, and I've said these things before, but some team issues are actually leadership avoidance.
Some team issues are actually,
I could do a whole episode on this.
yeah, but we're not doing that. This is rapid fire. So stay on topic.
Yes. All I have to say is business problems trickle down from the top 9 out of 10 times. I said what I said.
Yeah, usually the problem is you and not the people that you're managing. Again, Julie, that means the problem's you and not me.
I know. That means that Katerina's gonna say, Julie, it's your problem, not mine,
Yeah, right?
when
There
she
you go,
listens to our
Katarina.
episode. No, I said, well, it is mine because if I don't hold, someone accountable, then whose fault is it, right? Is it my fault or your fault? Like, people are people, like, we're humans. We
Yeah.
get away with what we can get away with.
Ooh, ominous. I like it. All right, let's try. Being nice is not the same as being a good leader.
Again, I could do a whole episode on this. Definitely, I could do a whole episode. No, no. As a leader, I agree it's not the same as being a good leader because as a leader, you can be nice. But I feel like I learned early in my career, you must be firm but fair. And so I always keep that in my mind. And you should not ever be mean. You can
No,
be a nice person and you can be kind and you're in it for your team, but nice people don't necessarily translate into being the leader. Like, that's not, leadership is a whole different skill. And, my belief is that, a good leader very rarely can be made. They're born.
it's like boss baby. Boss baby is just, that's it. That's it. It's decided. Once you're born, if you're a boss or not. I do think to an extent that is true. I do think that you get more bees with honey, but the buck has to stop somewhere, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, so I think it's a little bit of a depends because you can be nice without being overly nice, and you can be nice and still hold boundaries, and you can be nice and still, put your foot down when you need to, right? And I'm thinking about all sense of the word leader, so like leader in your house as well. So I think it depends on what you think maybe nice is. Because I do think sometimes nice is used as like a bad thing, or like a weakness. And I definitely don't think that's what it is, right? Because I think there's a power in when a situation is hard and you can still be nice and still put someone in their place. I think
Mhm.
that's really powerful too.
Right. Yeah, but being nice is not the same as being a good leader. I mean, they're not
They're
necessarily the same definition, I don't think.
They're not, but I do think being nice is, and like maybe it's nice, I think is more like kind, but I do think that is the quality of a good leader
Yeah.
because of like you're a jerk. First off, probably no one's going to want to work for you or listen to you, right?
Right. Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
guess unless you like manipulate their minds, but that's a deeper conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I think that leaders, yeah. I mean, I think that, leaders do have a quality I guess, nice.
Yeah, I think sometimes nice can be misconstrued as like
Right,
meek
right.
or
I mean, I
soft.
think a quality of a good leader is being positive, which is like a form of, positive, compassionate. I mean, I guess could be a form of nice,
I wonder if I wouldn't be like,
humility.
I mean, I am humble. I'm definitely humble, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the most positive person. But I think I'm more just realist. Like, I don't think I'm necessarily negative as you take a long drink of your herbs so you don't have to answer this question. But yeah, maybe. I guess that's another episode, like our characteristics of being a leader.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have my skill set print out probably right here somewhere
Your personal skill set?
as a leader. Well, yes, my personal skill set. Yes.
Did ChatGPT tell you that?
No, it was done through the big resort that we work at.
You work up.
Every management team member had to do a skills assessment.
It's probably AI.
No, it's not. It's what's his name? Kurt Kaufman. He was one of the founders of what's that popular book that people do? Skill Finder? I think that's what it's called, right? Skill Finder? Something like that. Something Finder. It's like a big thing. There's a book, you know, Pam gave us all the books. Strength Finder, that's it. Strength
Oh,
Finder.
strength finder. It's kind of like a wayfinder, like Moana. I'm just saying. It
So
reminded me
he
of Wayfinder.
he was one of the founders of that, but he has his own company. And, that's what you do. You take a test and you find out, your strengths. I think I have mine on my phone, but, we're recording,
Well,
so I
you
can't
should
go
give me that. You should give
through
me the
it.
test, and then it'll tell me my strengths. Does it tell me your weaknesses too? I don't need that. I'm good.
No, it tells you it's really how teams can, you can build stronger teams. My strengths test very much came out as me being like the leader of the team. That,
You're the boss.
I'm a visionary,
That's true.
strategic thinker, a coach. I can't remember all of it. There's like 5 or 6 things. I know one was competitive.
Well, that's true.
And it says something like, why would you play if you don't play to win?
Oh, yeah.
And I
I
was
wonder
like,
where I heard that when we were trying to
yeah,
play
my business bestie.
a family-friendly game of Guess Who, and you almost flipped the board over because you weren't going to win. Dramatic. Dramatic.
So let's
All
dive
right.
into the wellness ones. Okay.
All right, so we're doing agree, disagree, depends, right?
I guess.
Let's do it. So, more wellness is not always better.
Yes, I agree, or maybe it depends, but agree. I mean, I guess I try to subscribe to the belief that, anything in excess can be bad, right? Not necessarily
Mhm.
bad for you, but, you become obsessed about it. And so, I was watching, one of those videos on Instagram yesterday that I was talking about. And, the woman, she lost 100 pounds, calorie deficit, no shots, no nothing. But she said that she was on an extremely high protein diet. And it was so funny. Her video is so funny because she goes, and I like didn't poop for weeks. She's
Oh,
like, and
no.
I knew that couldn't be normal. I had like a constant constipation.
Oh,
She said, and I was eating too much protein. And
yeah.
that's what and I thought to myself, right, in excess of anything, like if you only eat fruit and don't eat anything else, I'm sure there's some kind of, like byproduct of that. And so there's, eat a lot of protein, eat a lot of fiber, balance your fruits and vegetables. But she's like, I was eating like 150 grams of protein a day. And you know what? Now I eat like 80 to 90.
Yeah.
And like that made a gut shift. And she's like, I'm not a doctor, I'm just telling you what worked for me. And so I always think like, no matter what it is, extremes are not always good, whether it's a wellness thing, whether it's a political thing, right? No matter what it is, like extremes, I think we should be a little bit more balanced with all things that we do.
Yes. Are there any hot button issues that you feel so passionate about you need my opinion on? You have a great day, and bye, Julie. Bye, listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us today in the SpaHive.
If this episode sparked an idea, made you think differently, or just made you feel a little less alone in business or life, share it with someone who might need it too.
Don't forget to follow the podcast so you never miss a conversation.
And check out the show notes for links, resources, and ways to stay connected with us, including the Spa 101 course taught by our very own Julie Pinky.
We're so grateful you're part of this community.
And we'll see you next time.